water is really good for my throat, but
it needs to be that.
I keep getting warm water out here, and then it turns out to be just like lukewarm water, so it's not as helpful for my throat. But yeah, fun fact for you guys out here in Shanghai.
You want it to be that McDonald's scorching hot that's like lawsuit worthy, and you're like, oh, that's good. That'll relax the vocal cords.
That's right. I'm that kind of man. By the way, have you been able to go around Shanghai at all?
I haven't.
Yeah, me neither. You've been in the hotel the whole time. This is your first time at her?
It is. It's first time in China, with the exception of when we went to Macau.
Oh, right. That's right. Went to Macau a long time ago.
Took photos with that monkey?
Yeah, that monkey that was off the boat. Do you know Calder just went bungee jumping in Macau?
God, that's so much more interesting than hanging out with a monkey.
I know, man.
Way more adventurous
bungee jumping with a monkey. That would be even more interesting.
Oh, man, that would be it.
Could you do bungee jumping?
You know, I went skydiving, but I hear bungee jumping is way more terrifying because when you're skydiving, it's just
surreal.
It's like slowly scrolling in on Google Maps, but when you're bungee jumping, the ground is actually rapidly going towards your face.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. I think this is my third time out here in China, actually. We got a little bit of downtime here, guys. They're just teching up. It's going to be fast expand.
It's kind of interesting. This is the first game that LucifroN has not opted to go for the command center first. This is one of the shortest distances, despite winding up with some of the longest macro games.
So, yeah, it is. We're going to see where he wants to go from here. You're right, though. It is the first time he's deviated from this. By the way, getting double gases, too.
Ooh. This is still an acceptable way to transition up into the Hellion Banshee. It's not quite as slick as the command center first play, but VortiX, I think, is going to be very comfortable on this map. This is a map where it is perfect to go 4-queen defense early on. You can creep straight forward out into the middle of the map. You can creep straight down to your third base and secure that very easily.
Excuse me. So the command center is going to be finishing up here a little bit. This is a map kind of like Antigua, but the same rule, but different reasons why. Fourth base is hard to hold. Fourth base here, they can get on the high ground of it, get behind it and deny you from working there. They also have a ledge that they can push from that gives them an edge up too.
Same time, players have been starting to expand to this far rightmost base as a fourth, so that way they can mount assaults on the usual ZerG fourth, which is down here, and if not, just put pressure on the ZerG third, given the fact that LucifroN has been a mech player. I would pretty much expect him to go for that bottom one.
And no gases here yet for our ZerG. He may be going for quickling speed, though, coming up here. That is so popular now, and I agree with it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good.
There's that nice timing push where, I mean, these Hellions are going to pop out right at 6, and you can get link speed done at about 5:35, and you can hit a player literally right now. Man, LucifroN is taking a huge risk. Like right now is when the links spring up into the main.
All right, 2 Hellions coming out here now. Do you think he's going to go for potentially Hellion Marauder?
Oh, I think he's actually going to be going for that style that was popular at the end of 2011, where you open up Hellion, but then you go for you fast
Marines
stim.
With stim. I was going to say the combat shield one's good too.
Oh yeah, the combat shield push is super slick. Actually, what's going on? Is he just going to switch and go tank? I mean, right now that's looking like
he could do that too.
I mean,
I think he is because he's not upgrading anything right now.
Oh, nothing's happening.
What's happening?
What is
do
going
something,
on?
LucifroN.
LucifroN, what's going on, man? Double engineering bait, LucifroN.
All right, so I don't think he's going to go for the quick tanks then.
I mean, I feel like, oh,
weird. Okay.
Oh, whoa. This is an odd, awkward play out of LucifroN, but it has some of the general principles of that old school style. You're trying to go for fast Marine, medevac, Hellion pushing, and on this map with short distances, it's going to be very effective, but it looks like he wants to bolster that by also having 1-1, which sounds so greedy on paper, but it's easy to mess with the ZerG player.
ZerG's not going to move out. There's 2 Hellions outside of his base. He's not going to do anything.
Look at this meta gameplay. He's going for a straightaway attack. He's like, you're meching.
Wow. Cool.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
So, let's go back to the Terran base for a second, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's getting to the command center, and over here we have another barracks. Okay, so I think he's going to do this 1-1 timing, maybe a 2-2 timing, and he can hit the third or the fourth. I am surprised, though, by the additional command center. This is pretty greedy, but I guess you can get away with it.
it's really cool. I mean, players for about 9 months were literally doing one of 3 builds with each race and each matchup. It was so stagnant, and suddenly we're starting to see these eruptions of corner cutting. VortiX now, cancels the Roach Warren. Did LucifroN throw down a scan? Looks like, oh wow, has no idea the range attack was canceled. And if you're in VortiX's shoes, you're saying, what are you doing, brother?
This is an insane meta shift here. These guys are really in each other's heads.
Yeah, but I think LucifroN is the one who is certainly going to be coming leaps and bounds ahead of this one. He's ahead of ZerG in upgrades. That is going to sting when this push finally shoves forward.
Orbital landing now. Nice bunker placement. Always going to put the bunker there. Pretty hard to get to attack into there. And of course, that's where a lot of ZerGs want to throw infested Terrans.
Oh yeah.
In late game or throw roaches there.
Finally, more Marines popping out. This is going to be such a beautiful push. VortiX is building, I would call them confusion lings. He's just not quite sure what Terran's up to. He's seen a couple of
erring on the side of caution, basically. Now, he sees speedlings, so I don't think Terran's going to move out for a little bit here. He is going to try to take the third. That could be risky.
Well, right now, LucifroN is just turtling up. I think this is the smart play. He's going for a 2-2 timing push. Tanks now finally going to get started. He will be adding on about 3 more barracks in a moment now that he's started this upgrade. Really, really nice defensive play coming up from LucifroN. Does need combat shield. Bam, there it goes down. But LucifroN's in great shape.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to take the lead here. What do you think we should see from VortiX here? I feel like Broodlords are very strong in this map. He could turtle it out and do Broodlord Spinecrawler push onto the map here. At the same time, it looks like VortiX might be gearing up for an attack here. I don't think this is going to work, though.
Yeah, LucifroN is super turtled. He needs to load up into that bunker. Where's the stim? And he's not going to get... What's going on with the banelings? They're getting really caught off.
This is a mess. They did not do the damage they're supposed to do. He picks up
what a nice play with the Medivacs, trying to just keep the SCVs up in the high ground. Mutalisks are attacking the natural expansion. It looks like LucifroN has not yet noticed. He's still caught up at this top side, microing as best he can. A lot of SCVs being taken out over here. LucifroN needs to just refocus right now.
He was, he was somewhere else on the screen, or on the mini-map there. He clearly did not notice that the Mutalisks were hitting him. LucifroN should have come out on top, but the number of SCVs that were killed there was huge.
Yeah, I mean, losing 13 workers at this point in the game is certainly going to hurt because you have to spend that time rebuilding when you're going for a very fragile 2-2 timing. This is what's actually going to backfire about really fast timing pushes, is that if anything disrupts them, you do it and you have like 3 units with amazing upgrades.
Right. So, we got Lings coming up here with the rest of this army from the ZerG factory coming up. More factories coming out. This place is exposed.
This is exactly what makes VortiX such a fierce player, doing these ZerGling Mutalist counterattack timings, picking off a lot more workers yet again, but LucifroN has that killer 2-2 set of upgrades. He's going to have 5 racks churning them out. Oh, man, he is having... Oh, these are going to be so freaking early. He's going to have almost 15-minute 3-3.
It's interesting here. Go to VortiX's 4th base.
Yeah, he's taking it quite early, throwing guys in the gas.
Getting the gas first off, which is smart because Hive is about to finish. He's definitely going to get that adrenal upgrade for the Lings. And, I feel like although VortiX has a supply lead, you're right with this upgrade lead. I mean, it's just too much. 3-3 is on the way. He can push right before 3-3 finishes for the ZerG easily. It's going to be tough for ZerG to hold. Although the creep spread here for VortiX is pretty good.
Very excellent. And I mean, the real issue I'm worried about for LucifroN is that he's now deciding to go for tanks. I mean, if you do opt for early 3-3 upgrades, just invest in Marines,
Right. I mean, it doesn't look like VortiX is going to be too heavily focused on banelings here.
Ooh, Ultralisk Cavern is the tech choice. There's the scan. Sees the Ultra Cavern. Very nicely placed. But now is hitting the time that all Terrans hate, when ZerG has the whole frickin' map covered in creep and is expanded to opposite corners.
Right. Hatchery going down now. And looks like we may have a push here. 3-3 not complete. He may just want to try to clean up the map a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's actually anticipating that there's a potential threat coming up from Broodlords, but in the unit station we see that there's 8 Infestors out. Getting close to 100 Lings. But he's producing a good chunk of Banelings, so That tank count that LucifroN so nobly went for really needs to start climbing its way up. 3-3 is not going to be done in line with this push. Barracks going down. I don't like this command center placement. I think it should be going down south.
I agree. This is a common place for people to expand to. I think because it's close to the third. I don't think it's that good, though. I think Zergs are always going to expand to the can you go to the Zerg's fourth base? Zerg's always going to expand there. You might as well expand to the location that you were pointing at earlier, center right. Control that and then push down at the Zerg from there.
LucifroN's getting real close to not even being able to secure his own fourth base. Fortunately, ZerG expanded here, provides somewhat of a target that LucifroN can go for. He's still not producing tanks 3 at a time, though they're finally now churning them out 3 at a time. His 3-3 upgrades are near complete. A couple of small minor engagements. LucifroN and VortiX both have to be very careful here, and VortiX is going for it.
Here he comes now, moving in. Doing so much damage here with all these lings. It's unbelievable. He's wiping out LucifroN easily.
Oh, my God. Where are LucifroN's units?
This is a massacre right here.
Just complete overwhelming forces. I mean, LucifroN went for this fast 3-3 upgrades, not even quite done. ZerG lined it up nicely with 2-2. VortiX is being forced to retreat. The planetary fortress is done, but I'm actually not quite sure that this is going to be...
Well, he can't repair it. He can't get around it to touch it.
It's too many ZerG.
Yeah, he should have been able to hold that, but the Lings had a perfect surface area there.
Gosh, this choice to overbuild these tanks is really hurting LucifroN. This awkward placement of factories is constricting his units. Another expansion command center goes down. 8 Ultralisks being produced. It's all going to come down to these 3-3 Marine Marauders.
Well, we will have a counter push here coming up. He needs to reclaim the fourth base and do it fast.
Yeah.
I don't think he's even going to bother expanding to the center right. I think he will take that same location again. I think it's going to give VortiX a bit of an edge.
Looks like we do have the usual flood of spines we're seeing from VortiX. Just does not want to lose to drops. Very difficult to deal with drops if you are going for this Ultralisk Zergling Infestor play. LucifroN starting to make a push down to the south side. Doesn't have that vulnerable fourth up yet. LucifroN needs to start sieging. He sees that this army is going to engage.
Uh-oh. We could have a flank here. And I don't know if LucifroN is going to hold it.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Ultralisk get right up to the siege tanks. VortiX overwhelmed. GG. Not even willing to engage for more than a few seconds. I mean, that was just a dominating game by VortiX.
VortiX way outplayed LucifroN. And LucifroN had that lead in the early game.